So, good evening. I'm here having a little chat about Antifa with Chowdah Ranger. How's things going?
Fine, just fine. You?
Not bad. Feeling a bit tired tonight, but yeah, let's go. I'm sure I can get my blood pumping just by talking about Antifa.
Yeah, we all.
Yep. So, if I may start, I've came across this article on this website about Antifa, pushing for mass actions to drive out the Trump-Pence regime. I think I'll go ahead and share that on the screen, actually.
Okay, go on.
Right, hang on a second. Still getting the hang of this, even though I've done it a wee bit. Right, let me know if you can see that all right.
Hold on.
Is that fine?
I can't quite see it.
Oh, it says I'm presenting it to everyone. You know what? I'll just stop and I'll just read it out. Read out what I found.
All right.
Okay. So, Antifa organizations now calling for mass actions day after day on November 4th and onward. On the day before Guy Fawkes Day, named after a revolutionary who planned a failed assassination of an English monarch, anti-fascist group Refuse Fascism declared a call to action on November 4th to drive out the Trump-Pence regime, declaring the regime to be more dangerous to the world than even Hitler.
They're not even literally Hitler. They're literally worse than Hitler.
Honestly, they'll be thinking, God, Hitler seems good against Trump. Seriously, a name, Refuse Fascism, and they're co-opting our British celebration of Guy Fawkes as well.
That they are. They do have those V for Vendetta masks.
Yeah, the organisation Refuse Fascism, air quotes, has no outbound links except to their own propaganda and makes absurd claims regarding the Trump-Pence regime, going as far as to suggest that restriction abortion is denying women their humanity and banning trans people from the military is a crime against humanity. Well, obviously it's this evil white supremacist patriarchy that's really in full flow. But really, though, with regards to the military, I mean, war isn't a game to be you pushing your agenda in. I mean, war is life and death. What do you think about all that?
Well, I just farted. I don't know if you caught that. That's better than any argument I could have come up with. Yeah. What do you think about the trans-military thing?
It's it's a touchy subject, but I'm thinking if it does cause any problems, which it sounds like it does, then they really shouldn't be. I mean, soldiers go to war to fight. They don't go there to push progressivism. They don't go there to make a statement. A lot of them obviously don't fight, or aren't obviously wanting to fight the war, but it's not the time for like sort of this progressivism. I mean, the fact is, when it comes to arm combat, men are much better than women, and at fighting. I mean, there's some women that can fight. I do karate. I've had a few bruises from teenage girls doing that, but generally speaking, on the whole, it could be it could be a danger by putting like transgender people there. So
yeah, I do agree that the purpose
war is no game, and basically you could just get the feeling that they kind of want America to lose. I mean, they're not exactly pushing for transgenderism in America's enemies, so
yeah, exactly.
It seems like just for America only.
Yeah, I do agree that the purpose of the military should be the most effective fighting force, and anything that distracts from that is not something I support.
Yeah. Anyway, so back to Refuse Fascism, quote unquote, and their little organisation.
Yeah.
So what do they plan to do? Well, on November the 4th, we will gather in the streets and public squares of cities and towns across this country at first many thousands, declaring that this whole regime is illegitimate and we will not stop until our single demand is met. This nightmare must end. The Trump-Pence regime must go. Of course, they think
so as
that.
dramatic as that.
I mean, say what you will
Dramatic
about
as that, and they only have
the
one demand.
electoral college, but Trump did win, in legal means. I mean, US, it doesn't quite work out, popular vote.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing is, here's what you can say. Someone has a popular vote argument on it. Says, but Hillary won the popular vote. No, she won California.
She did win California. But you see, like, a lot.
Yeah, but this is the thing.
You've seen the county by county map, I assume, the one that makes America look overwhelmingly red.
That it is. Yeah, but look, I mean, the point there was that the margin of victory was 2 million votes. That's the same margin of victory in California.
Mm-hmm.
It does not reflect the rest of the United States.
It doesn't. California
maybe some people
the most insufferable state, and it's not because of like their political views. Even it's just the whole culture there, the day-to-day life. I suppose if you go to like smaller town, that the country bits, it would be a bit more authentic, as it were. But in the city,
there's a bit of movement.
Just for people who are fake, really.
Yeah,
LA and all.
There's a bit of movement in Northern California. There was a proposed new state in about 1941 called it's supposed to be called Jefferson State. Just south of Washington State.
Mm-hmm.
And those plans got shelved when America entered the Second World War.
All right.
But some guys, local campaigners that are trying to revive it. And if Breitbart actually had a piece on this, you can look it up. And saying that
little look. Breitbart.
Yeah, in the
echoes around their name.
In the area that would be covered by the proposed Jefferson State, they voted heavily for Trump.
Yeah, excuse me. So the Jefferson State, is this because California is banging on about getting out of America because they're obviously not happy with the result?
Well, I mean, I think since then that's sort of had more attention to this movement. If the Jefferson State is saying, "Well, California has to leave the United States because they don't want to be part of the Trump's America," they'll say, "Well, we want to leave California because we don't want to be part of the new California."
Mm-hmm. I've got the Wikipedia page up. I can't quite stumble across the Breitbart one. Their search didn't work. But yeah, Jesus, the proposed state of Jefferson, the 2016 presidential results, strong support for the Don. I think there's only two that are really blue, and the rest are all red.
Maybe check references or external links. It'll probably be there.
Mm-hmm. External links. I'll have a look here. Oh, that's fascinating. I had no idea that there was a new state. But didn't California used to be quite a conservative state once upon a time?
Yeah, they voted for Republican as recently as 1988.
Mm-hmm. Was that both the first Bush that they voted? Did they vote for George Bush Sr.?
Yeah.
Probably on the back of him being the right-hand man of Reagan.
Yeah, the thing is, Bush Sr. was supposed to be Reagan's third term. Didn't entirely work out that way. Which is why, Pat Buchanan, he ran as a third party in the 1992 election.
Yeah. Anyway, for now, if you mind if I just go back to the Antifa protesters, back to the one that they're planning for the night before Guy Fawkes night.
Yeah.
Our protest must grow day after day and night after night. Thousands becoming hundreds of thousands and then millions, determined to act to put a stop to the grave danger that the Trump regime possesses to the world by demanding that this whole regime be removed from power.
You'll be lucky.
Jesus Christ. I mean, well, for a start, it's going to be primarily bourgeois, upper middle class, white people with the odd tokens around. Pardon my language. But they're just, it's all these are like communist people, communistic as fuck.
Yep. Neo-commies.
Yeah, that's a good term. They should have said that, and they should start spreading that around neo-commies.
I'll do my best.
To what was it, Scottish Individual in my stream the other day, that one mistake that Trump made was that he did not address them by what they are, communists. I mean, there might be a few normies there that just don't like Trump who are protesting, and that's fair enough. That'll be the ones that don't go for trouble, but the ones that are fighting, and there's loads of them, they are communists, neo-commies. I do not hold them in any higher regard than I do fascists. That's how badly I feel about them.
I mean, of course, communism killed far more people than fascism did.
Yeah, it's true, but I do think that given the wherewithal, fascism would have killed more if it wasn't defeated so soon. I'm not trying to say one's better than the other. I just look at all these regimes. I don't look at the numbers. I just look at what they've done, and if they're in the millions, then that's it for me. They're evil. Even in the thousands, it's evil.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say that fascism is good because they only killed 12 million people. But yeah, I mean, the point is, I mean, if that's the standard of evil, how many millions of people killed? You know, why don't these people ever talk about communism?
Oh, that's the thing. I mean, I think just because of, I think there was a theory that someone, honestly, it fills my mind who it was that said this, but they were proposing what would happen if the Allies actually sided with the Nazis over the Soviets, but we sided with the Soviets over the Nazis, and that sort of contributed to why communism isn't held in such distaste.
Yeah, you know, PragerU, they did a great video about why communism is
people, Nazism. When it comes to politics, more normies are they shiver at the very mention of the word Nazism compared to communism. I mean, most of them will think it's not that good, but communism, it does say a lot of the things that's supposed to be all flowery and all nice to hear. But yeah, communism, they're just as bad as each other, in my opinion.
Yep, but of course that means that you're defending white nationalists now, doesn't it?
It could be the fact that communism usually isn't racially motivated. I mean, it sort of is nowadays with the white man being their Jew, so to speak.
Yeah.
But basically, communism, I look at that and it's basically equality of outcome and equal suffering for all.
That's true.
So it's sort of the fact that they didn't have a racial agenda is why so many people look at it and think this sounds all right. But if only they knew it's actually a monstrous regime.
Is it ever, man? But yeah. What was I trying to say? I forget. I mean, yeah, and it is remarkable to me how sort of mainstream, or at least fashionable, sort of in vogue it is to be sort of a socialist or even a communist these days. Consider like the Green Party in Britain. I mean, my whole family votes Green. Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, people assume the Green Party is like the nicest party, especially since the Lib Dems went into coalition with the Tories. But I mean,
nice, my arse.
Yeah. Well, there's the thing is, of course, it sounds lovely and fluffy and liberal and all that, but I mean, do these people just seem to me, just utterly ignorant about how radical eco-socialism is?
Well, it's crazy. I mean, if the Green Party were hypothetically, become the ruling party of the UK, we would be an authoritarian regime. Like anyone, didn't they propose banning cars? No, it was a Labour guy actually, I think, or a Labour woman.
Yeah.
I can't remember. But yeah, I mean, cars would be phased out with probably be not allowed to eat as much meat,
Yeah.
if any meat. And
Yeah.
as a man, sexism will not be allowed, and by sexism, that will be such a broadly defined term, like saying, like whistling at a hot lassie, or even asking them on a date.
No, that was one of the stories. I think this was in late summer, early autumn 2016. There was that story. There was a local police force, I forget which one, but they officially listed wolf whistling as a hate crime.
Mm.
I don't
Jesus,
remember
I
that.
remember that actually. Nottingham, that was in
Yeah.
it. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ,
I think
Nottingham
that.
was cucked.
Where's the sheriff when you need him?
I mean, I can see why women wouldn't like it, but it's not doing any physical harm to them, or even
I know.
it shouldn't do emotional harm. I mean, there's a lot of women who actually, like it.
I know a couple.
Women. Oh no, there's some that wouldn't mind it, that would be a bit flattered by it. I mean, if you did it to, like, say, a Guardian reading feminist, then chances are on the front, she'd be offended, for her ideology's sake, but she'd be really flattered on the inside because she'd be thinking, I'm desirable.
What a surprise.
But maybe it's because they don't get wolf whistled or catcalled or yada yada that they think it's such a bad thing.
You're not showing me any attention. Why should you skinny bitches get all the whistles?
Anyway, back to... I'm going to have another look into a few Antifa things. Excuse me. I'm just running about the Twitter looking for anything.
Yeah, I do.
But something interesting has happened, but my Twitter feed's like, it's moving so slow.
Yeah, there's an active shooter event in Charleston.
Here's something that's interesting. It's only a picture, so it's not an article, but a new Confederate monument is set to be unveiled in Alabama. That's going to be funny.
Well, now that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. There's been some news developing in the last couple of hours, actually. If you mind if we go on to this for a little bit. There was a shooter in Charleston, and there's a screenshot of a woman saying, "As a white woman, I hope the shooter in Charleston is white." Jesus Christ.
These fucking people, man.
I mean, you'd be thinking, oh, someone's been killed, that's a shame. But no, they're thinking, oh, please be white, please be white. It's not. It turns out it actually is, the shooter is black this time. And they're like, oh.
Oh, he's black, is he?
Yeah. I'm quite surprised, to be honest.
Well, okay. Well, that just means the narrative is going to be gun violence next.
Yeah, it's gun violence. It's either toxic whiteness or gun violence.
The rule is, if the shooter is white, blame the shooter. If the shooter is not white, blame the weapon.
Oh, definitely, without a doubt. But these Antifa bastards, though, they're absolute scum. I mean, I'm going to go look for a few pictures, but there was one where there was 3 people, all white, including an elderly couple, who were holding like a Black Lives Matter sign and a love sign, and lastly a get rid of whiteness sign. Don't know if that's the exact words, but it's fucking incredible. I mean, these people think it's like it's like Catholicism, isn't it? And they're like confessing their sins in the confession chamber, confessing their white guilt.
Yeah.
There was something actually hilarious earlier in the day. There was a picture of, it was an organisation, I can't remember who it was, but they had a picture of like, this is the future, and it was a white toddler holding an American flag, and they were so triggered. They were absolutely.
Oh, that was the ACLU. They tweeted that out.
Oh yeah. I keep forgetting that you're on Twitter now and looking around.
Yeah, I mean, I do follow news quite closely. Some mainstream sources as well. I mean, the Fox isn't exactly mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Oh, this is good. I'm going to get this up on screen share.
Yeah. Yeah, but they had a toddler in a onesie with that free speech on it, holding an American flag, and the child was blonde as well. I guess that's what pissed people off.
Yeah, I mean, it's not enough that he's white, but he's got blonde hair, and that makes him the worst kind of white, the most privileged kind of white. He's a bit like me.
Although,
I've got blonde hair. It's not as light as it used to be, but I've got blonde hair, blue eyes. When I was young, I was even worse. It was like pure, like Scandinavian blonde. So here's Antifa. Coward's hijab, check. Jack boots, check. Sack lunch from mum, check. Tolerance candle, check. The motivator. I'm still trying to look for that trio, and two of them were like an old couple. Probably like yesterday's hippies.
Yeah, exactly.
You just look at these pictures though, and you see them. I mean, I've got a couple of Nazi ones, but when you see some of them, it's without the logos, it would actually be hard to tell the difference between them.
Yeah, I can't actually see what you see.
In a perfect world, I like that one.
I mean, the screen share.
It's got the Google symbol there. That's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, hold on a second.
Look at this. More dead cops. I mean, these people are fucking. Oh my god, they're absolute scumbags. They look like Muslims to you, these people. They look like hijabs or.
I suppose.
You know what they are? They're Islamunists.
Islamunists.
It's a word that I've been toying about with recently. It's like a good way to sort of term together the unholy alliance between the regressive left and Islamism. They're Islamunists. So I hope that takes root that term.
Tweet it. I'd retweet that.
Retweet that, yeah. You're going to steal it off me and take credit. Sorry, I put my thing up. It turns out it wasn't up.
Yeah,
Kill Trump. I bet if he walked in the room with Donald Trump, he would shit himself. And it's not even to do with Trump potentially beating the shit out of him. He would just buckle. He'd capitulate.
Yeah. I mean, the guy's 70, but he's still pretty high energy.
Oh, look at this bitch. All my heroes kill cops. Fucking hell.
You know, I do have a theory about Antifa. I mean, I'll explain it in a minute if you've got more stuff to show.
Yeah, on you go if you want, or if you want me to show a few more cancerous pictures of Antifa. Oh, have you seen this lassie? What was it? How have I forgotten already what it was? She said something stupid. It was about Bruce Forsyth, rest in peace. He was a Conservative voter. And she was like, I hope he's dancing in hell for being a Tory. And she got a lot of heat from it. And then she, obviously, first she locked her account. So that's the first step, you know. They lock their account when they said something stupid and, you know, the backlash comes. And then she deleted it. I'm not sure if she's returned, but I know she deleted it. Or maybe she has. Yeah, it's deleted because the links disappeared on the thing. Jesus Christ, I mean, here she is again. Look at the state of her. These people, man. I mean, yeah. These what Donald, as I said earlier, what Donald Trump should have done is he should have called them communists, or even neo-commies. But even to say communists would be good as well.
Yeah, he's getting around to it. I mean, on the Tuesday the Trump Tower press conference, that shall live in history forever. He called them the alt left.
That was hilarious.
I know, right? And but then in Phoenix, he called them Antifa. He named them. And I love the way he said it as well. He didn't say Antifa, he said Antifa.
Antifa.
And there have been a couple of. In fact, I'll get the video up because they made a meme out of that. I don't know if you saw it already.
I don't think I've seen a Trump Antifa meme.
Well,
No, I've seen his test, which he was on top form. I mean, see, to be honest, I do want to criticize Trump at times, but I'm thinking even if Trump was to do something stupid, like if he was to run an old man over in the street, I can't believe I'm saying this, I would be thinking, yeah, it's bad, but I just don't have the motivation to take the piss out of him because the left have just made it such an undesirable thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. The page is stalled a bit. Okay, there it is. No, this might take a minute. But anyways, yeah, I mean, of course, Trump himself said that his voters are so loyal that he could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody, and they'd still vote for him.
Yeah. Have you got the video? I can present it to you if you want to put the video up.
Well, no, it's don't present the video. It's I think it's just an audio thing.
Oh.
Running up.
Skinhead, you bitch. No, dad, it's leukemia.
Okay.
It's quite a good one.
What?
No, it's not up. It's basically Martin Luther King in comparison to the left thugs of today. He preached non-violence, loved America, showed his face, and he was willing to die for his beliefs, which he did. And it's the complete opposite to everything else for Antifa.
That is so true. Yeah, these men have their principles.
Yeah, I think I'm going to. I know it's old news, but I'm going to get CNN's Antifa thing up. They are shilling the fuck out of Antifa.
I know, man, I know. Yeah, like I say, yeah, I have a theory about that, but yeah, in a second.
Do you want to go into your theory? Or...
Well, no, I want to find this thing first.
Right, that's fine.
I can't.
So, yeah, I've got Breitbart up, but they're covering the story. So, CNN normalizes Antifa. Leftists seek peace through violence. I mean, to say something that is Orwellian as fuck. I've started reading them. I've not read 1984 in full. I think I got just under halfway there the last time, but I started reading it again, and I just saw a couple of things that were just like, fucking hell, this is basically so much like the real world we live in.
Yeah, it's true, man. That original headline just went down the memory hole. But I mean, I might not be able to find this exact one.
Yeah.
But well, I'll see if I can. Okay, it doesn't matter. I'll just I think this one will do.
All right.
Okay, can you? Yeah, there's been a few of those.
Have you tried? Are you trying to share something?
Did you not hear that?
No, I didn't know.
Okay, well, we'll listen again. I don't know if this quite picks it up, but I'll try it one more time.
I'll present you to everyone, and you can try screen sharing. It's a little green telly on the left-hand panel.
What are you talking
about? Screen share.
Oh yeah, okay. So yeah,
Hail Hydra! There he is, the Emperor of Mankind.
Okay, can you not hear it?
I cannot, but try playing it. I might hear it.
Okay. Okay. I'll just say, tell me if you hear this.
I cannot hear it. No.
All right. Okay. Well, that's a shame. Bloody hell. Doing the bloody 2001 thing. There we go.
Okay.
Okay. Well, you know what? I'll hold on. I think I know what I'll do. Just need to unplug the headphones. I think that will do it.
Oh, right. I've got headphones in. I had no idea. I'm just holding my mic close to me.
Yeah. I got these cool wireless Bluetooth earphones. No, Bluetooth headphones. I mean. So yeah, that's a good thing. Frees me up. Okay, just gonna find this again. Like I said, there was a Trump Antifa. Oh wait, hold on. I found the video I was looking for. Okay, can you still hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you just the audio is required for this.
Right. I heard Antifa.
Okay, then let's one more time. Okay, put the volume all the way up. See if that helps. Do you hear this?
Yeah, just about.
Okay. I'll put it maximum. Yeah, it's a meme. I have to think that he knew what he was doing there. Excuse me a second. I'll put my headphones back in.
All right.
I'm back. Yeah, but I mean, he didn't say Antifa. He said Antifa.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, I'd like to think that Trump is the kind of four-dimensional chess master to know that will become a meme.
Well, who knows? Maybe he's knows all about the meme war that he led, whether he knew about it or not. But maybe he knows now. The meme war that got him into office.
He is the General George S. Patton of mimetic warfare. This is the thing. I mean, no, but this was my theory. I think Trump knows exactly what he's doing with his strategy, even all the way back to Saturday. I mean, you know, the day of the Charlottesville rally. By blaming, you know, both sides, by saying, you know, there was trouble on many sides. But my theory is that, you know, if he hadn't said on many sides, you know, just that phrase, just those three words, or if he you know, given the Monday statement right after Charlottesville, we wouldn't be talking about Antifa right now.
Oh, absolutely not. He's brought it right into the attention. And what's better is he's made like Antifa descend into even more autistic screeching and vile behaviour. So it's making them front and centre of everything.
I know.
So people are getting to see them for what they are.
Exactly. I mean, this is what I'm saying is because he said on many sides, you know, the media had to cover the other side. You know, they had to say, you know, what does Trump mean on many sides? These are just peaceful anti-fascist protesters.
No, they were not. They were basically closet fascists themselves, Antifa.
Well, exactly. Yeah, I know. But yes, this is the thing. I mean, who are Trump's enemies right now? The media.
Trump's enemies are
the Democrat Party. Yeah, but the main ones are the media, the Democrat Party.
The Democrat Party, even though the media is effectively the opposition right now.
Yeah, it's the, you know, the propaganda arm of the Democrat Party.
Yeah.
Or as Rush Limbaugh says, the Democrat Party is just the political arm of the media.
Yeah, it's a good point. Democrats are, and like the way CNN have behaved recently, it's been like hilarious. Did you see like the crocodile tears of one of their regulars that went on?
And Jones, Mr. Whitelash.
White Lash.
Yeah, nothing burger.
Oh, poor CNN.
That's his.
I saw the Mark Dice video you sent earlier. That was fun.
Yeah.
They said we suck.
That guy's good.
They weren't being nice to us.
Stop saying we suck.
Oh, there was someone.
We're doing our best.
We've got someone in the chat. Communist in space. Greetings. How are you doing? Your ideology fails every time, my friend. Let's see what.
Where's the chat?
Press the.
How do I see that?
The top icon. It'll come in a minute. I saw it on the actual page. No, he's a good guy, communist in space. He's basically our house communist.
Well, that's the best place for communists, I think, in space.
In space. Oh, he's absolutely roasted you.
No, but as I was saying, because Trump blamed both sides, they had to cover both sides. I mean, if he hadn't mentioned Antifa, or if he hadn't said there were two sides to this, they'd just be talking about the white nationalists and the neo-Nazis and those guys.
Oh,
but
yeah.
He forced them.
They would be tied to Trump. I mean, obviously Donald Trump's there. He gives them orders if you are to believe the media.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying is
Antifa into the picture he is doing quite good, which makes me wonder when his assassination will come, because it is looking about when, if not if, in my opinion.
There's going to be at least one attempt, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, he's already had two sort of assassination attempts, even when he was just running.
Yeah. One of them was a British.
Yeah, I know.
Communist in Space is back again. He says Stalin gives me a hard on.
I'll come up with a pun
view
for
on
that.
Antifa? Do you support them? Are they the right type of communists?
Yeah, just trying to come up with a pun. Yeah, never mind. But anyways, as I was saying, the media has to cover the other side. And of course, being the media, they're going to lie about the other side. And this is the thing: is not just the media, but the Democrat Party is going to defend Antifa.
Yeah,
and Trump made them do that.
I mean, Antifa obviously being short for anti-fascist means that people will assume that they're noble by default.
Yeah.
But the way that they can't keep any secrets the way they've been acting. Communist in Space doesn't support them because there's too many anarchists, which is interesting.
Oh,
I think you're a capitalist. Communist in Space believes in the state. I do as well. Not full state power. Like, I sort of used to be a libertarian, but there was a few inconsistencies. I still like libertarians and a lot of what they believe in, but I just can't really bring myself, because it has to be a state of some sort. Like the way that certain Antifa have been behaving, and the way that college campuses have been absolutely wrecked by social justice warriors makes me think that the state should have intervened and put a halt to this, basically.
Well, Trump has said, actually, after UC Berkeley, when they burned the campus, they'd rather burn the campus than hear Milo speak. He said that the public university should be defunded if they don't uphold the free speech principles.
Oh, absolutely.
So
Libertarianism equals autism, according to our friend here.
I mean, on libertarianism, I do actually think libertarianism. I find it confused myself, and kind of esoteric.
Yeah.
I mean, the Libertarian Party, Gary Johnson and those guys in America, one of the debating topics was, should the state run street lamps?
Seriously.
Yeah, guys, can we talk about ISIS for a minute?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
No, I mean, it's like saying, the libertarians don't care about. It seems like, well, at least some of the organized libertarians, they seem to care about only a few topics, and the thing is, they're talking in terms of, like what a libertarian world would look like, not how we make the current world more libertarian.
Mm-hmm.
And
I wasn't really keen on Gary Johnson, to be honest. But streetlights. I mean, that's what North Korea do. They turn the streetlights off at night.
So what they're on during the day?
Communism and libertarians' clothing.
Yeah, maybe someone should send that to Gary Johnson. You'd like North Korea. They don't have streetlights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nah.
They're not real communists. No, maybe North Korea actually are libertarians, but we just never noticed. Maybe they're like the perfect libertarian state.
Exactly. Man, that's a good idea. I'll look into that. Yeah, but as I was saying, I do want to get this point out because there's a few elements to it.
Yeah, go on.
I mean, on Saturday, on the day of the Charlottesville protest, he said on many sides, and took a lot of heat for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then on Monday, he came up with the full-throated specific condemnations of these groups.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, well, why didn't he say that 2 days ago? And so he, I guess maybe out of frustration as well, he came out on Tuesday and utterly flamed them.
The people that don't like Donald Trump are not going to, wouldn't have praised him if his first words on the first reaction to the Charlottesville riots were, "I condemn the Nazis that caused trouble here." The media they'd find something else. They'd find fault in that as well. And I'm not saying this to defend Trump. I mean, Trump deserves criticism when he's done wrong. He deserves praise when he does right. In my opinion, it goes with everyone. But they've got such an anti-Trump agenda that they will never look at the things that he says at face value, and it'll just be like, Trump said it, therefore it's wrong.
Yep, that's true.
Communist base is just on North Korea. The U.S. Libertarian Party recently praised North Korea. That's interesting. Could you be so kind to find a link for that? Not denying it happened. I would be genuinely interested to look that up.
I'd think though that on the face of it, North Korea is furthest away from what the Libertarian Party would think a good state is.
Jesus, that would be a turn up, eh? Libertarian in North Korea. Maybe we were wrong. Maybe communism is the right ideology after all.
Well, I didn't expect to have my views challenged like that at this point.
Nah, I wouldn't call them, like, see, to be honest, I don't really think the US Libertarian Party, from at least what I saw, are overtly, individualist and that sort of libertarian. But yeah, they're not that great a party. But there's a lot of like libertarians I follow on the web who seem to be like on point with pretty much everything. But they do have like the one thing that can sort of challenge the libertarian doctrine, which is open borders. Because if you have a closed border, or you limit who comes in, then that might appear to be sort of anti-libertarian.
Well, that's the other thing about libertarians, is there seems to be a fair amount of division within. They say, what's proper libertarianism? Some libertarians favor quite strong borders. Like Rand Paul, for example. If he believes in a strong border. Yeah, among others. Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard of Old Holborn. He's on Twitter. He's one of like the most famous trolls. So he's more like an activist than a troll nowadays. But he's like a libertarian that's well against the open borders.
Yeah, yeah. But Gary Johnson, he was pro open borders.
Mhm.
There was actually a good clip of him getting triggered by a reporter using the term illegal immigrants.
Yeah. So it sounds like what he's proposing is global libertarianism. Then we're all one big state.
Yeah, that's not a good idea.
No, absolutely not. No, you need nation states, and you need I don't say this as to keep people out, because I believe no matter what your background is, your heritage, if you can adapt and integrate well with your new home country, then that's great. I mean, that's why I oppose the alt right, because they just want to keep it, white. I mean, they'll oppose like massive immigration because it's mostly non-white people. I oppose it. I don't want Islam to be an influential culture in the West, because I think it will undo a lot of good work. We got to the stage where we are, where we can sort of exchange ideas freely, well within reason nowadays, and where people can choose to believe in God or not. So
yeah.
I was just saying, thinking back, I don't know, you've met Josh before, have you? It's Keith's friend.
I don't know.
No. Oh no, he's basically it's a guy that I actually met through Keith, and one of his was it his cousin, who was quite he called himself a libertarian communist.
How does that work?
I don't know. I mean, I've never had the chance to ask him, because I've not seen him recently. I eventually want to see a statement.
Communist.
No, communist in space is sort of. What do you think of libertarian communism? Communist in space.
Have you ever heard of it before?
Not until I met that guy. It was 2013, but it was really it was quite a fun thing talking with him. I remember one time when I was this guy's called himself a libertarian Leninist. Oh, Sam, is that you?
I just got a news that the shooter's down, apparently. He was shot by police. The hostages are safe.
Who's this, sorry?
The Charleston shooter.
All right. That's good.
Yeah.
So we don't know whether to mourn this for the racist killing, or to sigh at the fact that it was white or whatever. I'm going to go back on the Twitter and find out more about what's going on. I'll need to change my hashtag to US.
It just said shot, didn't say shot and killed.
Shocked?
No, shot. He was shot.
Oh, he was shot, right. Yeah, I get you. Region, country. Jesus, Twitter have fucked up their interface. United States. Done. Yeah, it was a hostage situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are many people that were saying really hope that he was white. Several of them. It wasn't even just one or two, it was quite a few.
These bloody people, man. But yeah, okay, yeah. I'm glad that the situation is under control now.
Yeah, hopefully there'll be no more violence from that.
Yeah. But going back to the press conference, on Tuesday, I mean, the epic press conference, Trump Tower. Of course, like I said, he brought up the term alt left, and I know it's still great.
Oh, total genius.
Well, and of course he didn't invent that. That's been around for a while.
That's actually the first time I've heard the term alt left was from his very, very mouth. Although I would expect it to have been circulating about, especially since the alt right came about. The alt left would be there, but to hear him actually say it, and the reaction. I mean, he's just caused such anger. I'm on the regressive. It's so funny.
The salt flows heavily tonight. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, of course, that's great because it contrasts them to the alt right. That's why I use the term neo commies because, of course, then that contrasts them with neo Nazis.
Hmm.
They're just the mirror image of neo Nazis.
Yeah, they just
Yeah,
have different targets.
hmm exactly. And yeah, so yeah, he said the alt left, and vigorously defended his statement, saying, yeah, not everyone who was at the United Right rally was a neo-Nazi and white supremacist. And there were violent people, of course, the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists.
Mm.
They were violent and they were bad, but there were also violent, bad people on the other side, alt left, as he called them.
Yeah.
You know, and so of course the media they ate it all up. Trump is off the rail. So this is horrific. He's defending white nationalism.
Yeah, but that's not exactly news. So he's been defending white nationalists since time immemorial, especially back when he was denouncing what's his name, David Duke, and that was back in 2000, the first time he denounced them. I think that's why he stepped down from his president run. Did you know he ran for president in 2000? Are you there? Oh, you've probably muted yourself. In the meantime, I'm going to have a look at the chat. Toddler's t-shirt said free speech. That's what they were on about. Yeah, it did say. I remember that now. Tailed Feature said that. I don't think he's listening in at the minute. Although make yourself known if you're there. You still with us, Chowdah? Nope. I'm on my own in this chat. He'll probably rejoin in a minute. I've got a rhetorical question for you, communist in space. Did the Nazis, German Nazis, is there a case to be made about them not being real fascists? And if not, why? I'm asking for a friend, of course. No, that's good. That settles it. That wraps it up quickly. Of course, they were real fascists, just like USSR were real communists. I'm sure you'd agree with that. Yeah, my guest is working on getting back, so we've just got to sit tight and wait. I'll have a look on the Twitter, see what's going on. you back?
Ah, yeah, there it is. Ah,
Oh, that's good. And your picture's showing this time.
okay, well, one step forward, I suppose. Sorry about that, folks. Technical difficulties.
Yeah, you're using Windows 8. You're a pleb.
I know, I know. I just this is an old laptop. It's kind of broken. Um, I just didn't need it anymore. Just using the smartphone from now on.
You're using
You
your
know,
phone
it,
just now. You know, you actually sound better on your phone than you did on your laptop.
do I?
You do. A little bit
Oh,
quieter, but it's a lot cleaner.
okay. Well, let me just try something. I'll see if I can use my headphones. Just give me a second here. Bluetooth. So yeah, but sorry. Can't hear that.
I just caught the end of what you said there.
Right. Okay. Well, okay. It would appear that I can't use my Bluetooth headphones with this app. That's a shame. Oh well.
Yeah, just keep doing it as you are. I can hear you better. You can still hear me, okay? Right? Right?
Yeah, yeah,
Right? Good.
yeah.
Good.
I hear you.
Communist in
Uh,
space is still putting in his two pence. Fascism is always ultra nationalist. I agree. Class collaborative and capitalist. Nah, they were socialist, man. Come on, own up.
man, yeah, exactly. The Nazis, National Socialists. Come on.
Socialism for white nationalists.
Exactly. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, go back and listen to, of course, that video of that guy, you know, being cheered by some Antifa people by quoting Hitler's speeches. He was talking about the evils of capitalism.
What?
Oh, you didn't see that one?
I didn't. I would love to see this.
Look it up.
Oh,
Uh,
who? Where was it? When did it happen? Give me a clue to look for this.
so like Antifa cheers Hitler's speeches or something like that. You probably find a few videos. Don't watch it right now though, because we're in the middle of something. But anyways,
I'm searching for this, so
going
I'm
back to my
totally having a look at this.
yeah, picking up where I left off. I was saying, yeah, by Trump, coming out forcefully and saying, well, what about the alt left? You know,
Mhm.
charging at the other guys with the clubs and wearing the black masks and helmets. Do they not have a problem? And thing is, of course, they said, Trump is defending white nationalists. This alt left he talks about. These are peaceful people. These are peaceful guys. And of course, then he got the Democrats and even the cuck Republicans to say, this isn't these people are not these people are good people. They're anti-fascist, and by definition, they're good. And so, yeah, of course, by doing this, he's putting he's putting the alt left and Antifa, you know, well, not of course on Tuesday he did the Antifa.
Mhm.
I actually have reestablished my connection on my laptop. Should I get back on there?
Um, you, you sound all right on this just now. It's up to you, but I'd
Okay.
recommend you stay on this just because I can hear you a bit better.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, but I was saying, yeah, yeah, he, he actually,
I'm
put,
just having a
put,
little look at this video.
yeah, yeah, he put this concept of the alt left, into the public consciousness. Even if just by the mainstream media saying there is no such thing as the alt left. These anti-fascists are good people. They're peaceful people. But of course, Fox, being actually fair and balanced,
Mhm.
they said, they showed that this actually, there is an alt left. Hannity's been talking about this for months. these protesters, they showed up at Berkeley to, burn down the campus where Milo was speaking. They were at Portland. They were in Washington D.C. Of course, the Occupation Day. The alt left is real, and people have seen them before. But I guess Trump, and this term, that's the thing is, he didn't invent the term alt left, but he brought it to, he's the leader of the
he's brought
free
it
world.
front and center now, and the people that it accurately applies to are being seen for what they are.
Yeah, and he's the leader of the free world. When he says the term alt left, that means it exists, I guess. About the alt, this guy, the leader of the free world, he's saying, what about the alt left? That means you have to cover what he's talking about. That means you have to pay some attention, at least, to the alt left. It's like, and then maybe they say, Trump was off the rails. I mean, defending white nationalism. They did that for 30 minutes. But what about this alt left he talked about? Is it such a thing? We're talking about Antifa. They're anti-fascist. Yes, sometimes, Don Lemon, yes, sometimes their methods are, a little messy. But
they beat people up to disagree with them. They dress in black, sometimes wear stuff on their upper arms. The little captain's armband thing. But who cares?
Yeah.
They say that they hate fascists. By their media's logic, you could just go up and just shoot down a bunch of children, and you can say, "Oh, don't worry, I'm anti-fascist," and they'll be like, "Oh, that's a relief. I don't think what you did was right, but you're not a fascist, so that's good."
Yeah, exactly. And of course, you got the this stupid memes, by the blue checkmark squad. Yeah. The elected Democrats and the blue tick brigade talking about comparing the soldiers who stormed Normandy to the alt left thugs. I mean, this is the thing.
That's terrible. I mean, today's alt left would deem them imperialist, capitalist, white supremacist patriarchs.
Tell me about it. But of course, and this is the thing is, the American people, the real people, not the journalists, not the media, the real people understand what the alt left is, and they understand the difference between the soldiers who fought the Nazis and these thugs. They know the difference between these two people, even if the media doesn't. And this is the thing is, this is why it's so brilliant. This is why I think
the media do know the difference. They just have to, they're propagating a story which makes Antifa look like they can do no wrong and that they're a virtuous organization.
I know, and
it's just all about spin,
see
really.
that. Well, this is the thing, Trump. Like I said, his three main rivals are the Democrat Party, the media, and the street organizers, Antifa, BLM, and the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
But he's saying, and so in doing this one act, by just using those three words on many sides, he brought up the whole thing, allowing him to open up this avenue, he opened up this trap that they all fell into spectacularly. The media, they're defending Antifa. The Democrats are defending Antifa, and Antifa, having a bigger, platform now, or people, being in the public consciousness now more than they were before. They're going to get attention. They're going to talk about them. And as I was thinking about this earlier, I don't think there's going to be another alt-right rally in America. At least
do you not?
At least not on the scale of Charlottesville. I mean,
all right.
Well, okay, there probably will be a couple, but I mean, there will be the ones that do happen if they do.
We did have more alt-right rallies after Charlottesville. They were called free speech rallies. One of them was in Boston, and our brave Antifa soldiers went and destroyed them.
I know. But yeah, the free speech rally. I mean, I don't know how many alt-right people.
Everything's an alt-right rally. If it doesn't have Antifa plastered on the name, then it's alt-right.
Exactly.
There'll be people out there that think I'm alt-right, and there'll be people in the alt-right that think that I'm a traitor to my race. And that makes me feel pretty good, to be honest. To have both of these, schools of thought deem me as unworthy. That's quite good.
Yeah, I think that's what you're about, right? These people hate me. I came up with this.
But
Digressing a little bit, I came up with this thing about the alt right recently. Actually, just today, I was talking to my dad, who's a proper prog. It really annoys me. But anyways,
he's
he was,
progressive.
yeah,
Ooh.
all my family are.
Jesus, you're the outcast. Sorry, on you go.
No, but anyways, so he was, I was saying to him, you know, I just came up with this example. Take the 10 most extreme things, the most extreme policies Trump has, in your opinion, you know, and if you were to take what you consider to be the most extreme, objectionable policies he has, Antifa, would look at those. No, no, not Antifa. The alt right would look at those policies and say, "Well, that's a start." You know.
A start, yeah. A lot of them say that. I've seen that as well. Like they're not. A lot of them will say Trump. They don't fully support him. They just think it's getting the ball rolling for a white revolution or whatnot. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, when you look at it, I mean, Donald Trump's daughter Ivanka
Mm.
married a Jew and converted
Yeah.
to Judaism, so she's got a
Yeah.
Hebrew name which she doesn't really use in the public eye.
Mm.
I mean, if Trump was a Nazi, he wouldn't approve of that, and I
Yeah, and have you
don't
seen
think
how
the
many
alt right are going to be approving of that.
exactly, and how many Jews are in his cabinet? There's like a dozen of them.
I know Donald Trump echoes.
Exactly, but I mean, this guy, if he's a neo-Nazi, he's probably the shittest neo-Nazi who ever existed.
I know, spot on. I hate to break the topic a bit. Are you still considering converting to Judaism, like you said before?
Yeah, I am.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, of course, the process takes a couple of years, as I understand.
yeah. Have you
And
spoke to a rabbi yet?
I haven't. It's just something I've been thinking about.
All
Actually,
right.
I have been thinking about this for several years. I just thought, it will be, sort of, culturally enriching.
Yeah.
Kind of phrase.
Yeah, you do realize we can't be friends anymore once that day comes because I'm a part of the alt right.
Well, so am I by their standards.
Yeah.
I'm an alt-right Jew.
Yeah. Nah, I have no quarrel with Judaism. I mean, the alt right like to talk about how there's a lot of Jews that are sort of promoting Islam in the West and progressivism. But for every Jew that does that, and it's mostly like the ones that are involved in, high places and like TV and all that. But for every Jew that's pushing progressivism, there's like one like Dave Rubin, there's Milo Yiannopoulos himself,
Yeah.
Gad Saad, and I don't know if you've heard of Ashley Ray. I don't think she does videos, but she's on Twitter, and she's like very very anti-left, very pro like capitalism.
Yeah, of course,
So,
and of course, the Jews in Trump's cabinet, helping to advance his agenda. So I mean,
nah, they just joined because Trump's a billionaire, and they think they can get more shekels.
Fun fact,
I'll be back in a minute.
Trump.
I'm just gonna pour a drink.
Fun fact about Trump, he's richer than every other president before him combined.
So you were talking there. I just went over to my little water dispenser to get a wee drink. What were you saying there about Trump?
Fun fact about Trump is he's richer than every other president before him combined. Yeah, fun fact.
Can we be certain that he didn't convert to Judaism?
Indeed.
Okay, was something, I don't know if we said this in another stream in the past. I remember saying this to someone, but you know what Donald Trump should do? He should convert to Islam. Imagine what that would do. Imagine the fallout from that.
I know, and
but he still like does the same policies.
Exactly.
That people will be like, "Oh, we can't call him an Islamophobe anymore. We can't call him a Nazi anymore." That would be so good.
Exactly, and of course, it's piss easy to convert to Islam. All you have to do is just recite the Shahada, and you're a Muslim now.
Oh yeah, pretty much. I know it's easy. It's hard to get out, easy to get in. Whereas with Judaism, as you're probably going to find out, it's hard to get in. But if you don't like it, then thanks for trying. Goodbye. It's easy to get out.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you tried, Mazel Tov. Yeah, nah. But no, I will try it. Once I probably once I have a place of my own or something, and my own free time and whatnot.
Yeah, good idea.
Hmm.
Communists in space has put a few other things in. Trump should come out as trans, or better yet, Pence. That would be
Oh,
pretty good, actually, if any one of them came out, but they were still saying, "Nah, we're still making America great again."
yeah.
If Donald Trump was like came out as trans and said, "I'm banning my fellow trans citizens from the army," that would be so funny.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I wouldn't put me in the army. I'm not gonna make any difference for you, okay? Yeah, nah. But I mean, as I was saying, is yeah, then like I said, the digression there is the alt right. I mean, Trump is not alt right. I mean, like I say, the alt right. They say that his policies, which loads of people, they got millions of people, are literally afraid of the kind of America Trump wants to implement. If Trump got every single thing he wanted done, that's the thing, is not just, his most extreme policies, but if Trump got every single thing he wanted done, of course the liberals would be horrified, but the alt right would say, okay, well, that's a good foundation. Let's go on from here. Like, these guys
Yeah.
are on some way other shit, man.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's totally different. They'll be happy, obviously, with the wall and such.
Hmm. Yeah.
Of course, that they obviously like the alt right do appreciate Trump for being like anti-PC. So again, that's
Hmm.
something. I mean, I
Yeah.
will admit that's one thing I do have in common with them. I don't agree with them on a lot,
Hmm.
but yeah, I mean, I don't like political correctness.
Hmm.
Who's the guy who sounds like a Kennedy? That's you. You sound like a Kennedy, apparently.
Well, I suppose that's why I chose that picture. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the guy whose picture was up. I'm putting my picture back on because I prefer looking at my own one. My name is Galahad, and I've got a picture of Marco Polo.
Yeah.
Anyway, so um, I think
That's
we've
it.
covered pretty much most of what I want to say. Is there anything else you want to add before we wrap this up?
Yeah. I just want to finish my point about why it was such a brilliant strategy. And I mean, it's
Yeah,
it's
go right
very
ahead.
it's very difficult for me to think that Trump didn't know what he was doing by blaming both sides for the Charlottesville violence, because he is, like I said, launched into the public consciousness this thing about Antifa. He's launched Antifa into the public consciousness, and the alt left, still a brilliant term. Love it every time I hear it. But
Hmm.
and he's made the Democrats and the media own Antifa. That's the thing, because they defended them, because they've been so come out so hard in defending these guys. They now own them, and like I said, there aren't going to be too many more alt right rallies, I think, in the near future. And if they are, they're going to be nowhere near as big as Charlottesville was.
Yeah.
That's the other
I
thing.
hope
That's
not, because one, well,
hmm,
obviously, I don't want the media to try and, as petty as it sounds, I don't want the media to have too much, to go on as far as white supremacy is concerned. But
yeah,
main reason, number two, I do want the alt right to sort of just wither away. I mean, I would rather it stayed on like the fringes of the net. They are good for one thing, they're good for memes, but that's about it.
yeah, exactly. One man cannot live on memes alone.
Yeah,
But anyways,
yeah.
like I say, yeah,
Trump can give them they can give them what's that place?
uh,
Jefferson State that you told me was proposed.
yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah,
can just send them there and
yeah.
basically yeah, they can have their own little vassal state where
Well,
their meme state.
well, now this is the thing. I mean, digressing again a little bit, but the thing is, what the not white nationalists. And I saw a documentary about the Ku Klux Klan, I think last year, and what they wanted. At the sort of the end of the program, they said, "So what do you actually want?" And they said, "Well, America's a big country. Why couldn't we just carve out a small piece for just us? Just and just speaking seriously, kind of seriously for a second. Okay, so the KKK, they want a tiny bit of the US carved out just for them, just for the white nationalists and the KKK,
They should have like
and they
on the border with Baltimore, but carry on.
yeah, but so I mean probably be like somewhere in Georgia, rural Georgia. But anyways, so yeah, they want a tiny piece of land just for them, where presumably they would be the only people who lived there, and all of the white nationalists would go there because probably they're not that many in America. But yeah, they'd probably just keep themselves to themselves. So yeah, they want a tiny piece of America for themselves, where only they live, and all of them can go there, and they won't bother anyone outside, and we won't bother them. What's the downside?
Um, hmm, sort of see
I
what
mean,
you mean. Yeah,
I mean,
it would
if
still
they're
be
there,
a difficult process. It would have to become their own state first and foremost, and secondly,
well,
we've got to realise that this state will be ostracised quite rightly by pretty much the entire world.
well, I'm not
So,
talking about like a state here, but I mean like it could be a white reservation essentially.
white reservation, Jesus Christ! Well, this sounds like you're starting to
Yeah.
sound like Black Lives Matter a bit here.
Well, not exactly, and that's the thing
A
is
safe
fine,
space for whites.
exactly. Give the white nationalists their own tiny white reservation. Give the black nationalists their tiny white reservation, and all the normal people can just live in the rest of the country.
Mhm.
Where's the
I
downside?
see where you're coming from, but ultimately,
Yeah.
I just don't see it working. And besides, I would rather, on both sides, I would rather like get Black Lives Matter and neo Nazis to come to their senses and stop hating people of the other color, as it were.
Well, of course, that's the
Just get
that's the
rid of
best.
identity politics altogether. I
Yeah,
mean, failing that, we could go to the Outer Hebrides. Um, we could
yeah.
go to where Eriskay or something and just dump all the nationalists there and the Black Lives Matter there. Repopulate the 100 odd people that live in Eriskay and back to the mainland and just let them fight to the death.
Well,
Because honestly, if both of these organisations went out of the world, the KKK and Black Lives Matter,
mm.
no one would suffer for it.
Yeah, but oh yeah, on Black Lives Matter, I think there was a recent study. I forget exactly who did this, but I think it was something like 57% of Americans have a negative view of Black Lives Matter, and
How
that's
much? Sorry,
kind
I
of
misheard you.
57% apparently of
57%.
Americans in
That doesn't
yeah,
surprise me at all,
the
to be honest.
majority. And this is the thing. I mean, this is what Trump, before "Make America Great Again," before they had the MAGA signs and all that, the sign said the silent majority stands with Trump. And this is the winning strategy for him, like it was the winning strategy for Nixon. It's the silent majority who has a negative view of Black Lives Matter, and that's Black Lives Matter who have had the media and the Democrats behind them, yet last year, and a majority of Americans have a negative view of them. Imagine what they think of Antifa.
Hmm. That'll be
And
a lot worse with Antifa, without a doubt.
tell me about it. And like I was saying,
I
there's
mean,
going to be.
I'm not sure if Black Lives Matter on their own's like torn down any statues or done a
Mhm.
lot of defacing, but I'm sure a few Black Lives Matter supporters who are also part of Antifa would have done that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Antifa are obviously they've not chopped any heads off, but in terms of like ancient monuments or well, they're not ancient, but in terms of statues and monuments, they are behaving like ISIS, trying to
Uh,
purge history they don't approve of.
Yeah, it'd be a good meme. You can work on this. Of course, the footage of the protesters tearing, well, not protest, the rioters tearing down the Confederate statue in Durham. Just have that video, but lay over the ISIS song over it.
Hum halisi halaulasi.
I didn't even know you knew the lyrics. That's some
A few of them.
dedication, man.
It's quite an intoxicating song, to be honest. I've got it on my iPhone. It's my most listened to song on my iTunes list.
Oh
Communist's
man.
face is, he's got, this is probably the best. I can't believe I'm agreeing with a communist this much. Can't we all agree that Asians are the master race? Depending on what part of Asia. I mean, it certainly is true. I mean, they do earn the most money in the US. Asians
Mhm.
are more
Yeah, East
intelligent.
Asian.
And
Yeah, this is the thing. I
you
mean,
can take that
people
as a
say
compliment too, because you're part Asian as well, aren't you? Yeah.
that I am. But
Yeah.
I mean, what I was saying is, people say, like standardized testing in America is racist. Oh yeah, well, if it's so racist, how come Jews and East Asians beat white people?
To be honest, I mean,
Yeah, but
Oriental people, I mean, in terms of skin color, they're not even that much darker than whites, if at all. I mean, they are
mm,
pale skinned. It's just like
yeah,
yeah, the faces are different to Caucasians. I feel
yeah, yeah.
like I'm
But I
treading
mean,
on thin ice the way I'm talking about this.
well, nah, yeah, Asians are pretty good people too. But
Mhm.
Asians. But
Oh
anyways,
yeah,
like I
like
was,
East Asia. I love East Asia.
yeah, Japan and South Korea, fantastic places. I mean, real peaks of civilization.
Oh, beautiful. Can't top North Korea though.
No, yeah, libertarian communists. Oh man.
The libertarian communists don't have an obesity problem apart from their dear leader. But all the people there are in such great shape. Must be doing something right.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah,
called the
Asians don't seem
5-2
to have any
diet.
supremacist movements. Yeah, that's true.
No, but anyways, no, I was saying, yeah, I think there's going to be far fewer alt-right rallies and none at the scale of Charlottesville. I mean, this was supposed to be, I mean, I've heard this is like the biggest alt-right rally or the sort of largest white nationalist, white supremacist rally in years in America. And they
Mm.
got 500 people in a country of 300 million.
Yeah.
So, I mean, of course, any alt-right rallies that follow are going to be much smaller. But the thing
But you
is,
have to remember every person that went to
mm,
every neo-Nazi that went to Charlottesville is representing 10,000 white people each. So the problem's a lot bigger than you're making it.
okay, I'll believe that. But
But
no, I was saying,
yeah,
but there's going
I
to be
do
way.
think I think there might be a few more conflicts. I think you will get a few angry alt-righters who might band together from time to time.
You might,
But
but I was
obviously,
saying,
they
yeah,
will always get outnumbered,
mm, yeah,
by
exactly.
Antifa because
I know,
there
and this
is
is the
more
thing,
violent Antifa people. I mean, it's as simple as that.
and that's what I'm saying is there's going to be a few alt-right rallies, but Antifa is going to show up even when there aren't alt-righters. Antifa is going to show up just where there's Trump. There's going to be way more Antifa protests,
Oh yeah, because
and
pretty much everyone that's not in the in group is an
yeah,
enemy.
yeah, exactly,
They're
and
all
because
infidels.
yeah, because Trump has launched Antifa and the alt left into the public consciousness, and because he made the Democrats and the media defend them, he made them own Antifa. And so people are going to, next time Antifa shows up, people are going to know who they are. People are going, the American people are going to watch live as they riot in another city. And, over the next months, every time Antifa shows up, they're going to know who they are because
Mm.
Trump showed them who they are, and they're going to know that the media and the Democrats are covering for these guys, and maybe they'll see, like maybe they'll watch the shows live, and then they'll watch the TV shows, and they'll watch the pictures live of the rioters, and then the next day they'll see the media saying peaceful protesters were fired upon by police at the Trump rally last night, and they'll be like, motherfucker, I watched that live. I saw them throwing things at police. I saw them burning things. You're not
See,
showing
the
any
thing
proof,
is,
you liars.
the media shouldn't really be like putting this sort of spin on anymore because with like apps like Periscope and other ways to
Mm,
live stream, people can see the truth now.
yeah,
The
exactly.
unfiltered truth that's not been fabricated at all by any side. They can now see it for themselves.
Exactly. So, I mean, this is why I think Trump was brilliant in doing this. By launch, like what he did, those
Oh,
three
you
words
cannot stop the Trump at all.
on many sides, those three words, he launched Antifa into the public consciousness. He came up with the term alt left. He used that. That's now in the public consciousness. And he showed people that the media and the Democrats are on the side of these people. The Democrats are the party now. The Democrats are the party of the resistance. They're the party of Antifa. They're the party of Black Lives Matter. They are not going to win anymore if these people keep up their shenanigans. And they will. And the Democrats will own it. Trump is brilliant.
Can't stop the Trump.
You can't stump the Trump. Remember that, folks.
Yep. So is that your final point? Any last closing statements before we wrap this up?
I think that was a pretty good closing statement.
Yeah, you seem pretty pleased with that. And with good reason. So yeah, thanks for coming on, Chowdah. And thank you to the viewers, Communists in Space in particular, for coming on with some thought-provoking stuff. And I will hopefully be on another stream sometime soon. So see you later. Goodbye.
Bye bye. Keep calm and Chatelet.